So anyway, but with the buyer accept program, the only way that you can do this is if you're a conventional buyer. So the initial intent is that you're a conventional buyer or you're a VA buyer. I found my screen here, so let me share this. It's nice to have a visual. Except for I'm not hitting the right thing. Almost closed the meeting on you all. Tonya is sometimes technically challenged. Talk as I'm a third person here. Okay, so share. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you do full display? Full screen mode? Ooh, can you see just?
Beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, so this you can add, like obviously I would put my name here as far as if this was to go marketing, to go out to consumers or to real estate agents. But this is something that can be co-branded. This is just one of them. It's something that I wanted to have as a visual. But over here, so look on the right side, it says loan program. So conventional. So the person that is buying the home. So essentially, step back. So I have a client that wants to get pre-approved to purchase a home. I go through the application process with them, and depending on their eligibility and kind of what they're looking for or how competitive that particular market is, like, gosh, sure wish I had this program 6 months ago. But anyway, so depending on where that conversation could lead, I would share about this cash buyer program. And so conventionally, when they qualify for a conventional loan, they have to be putting at least 10% down if they have a 700 or higher credit score. If their credit score is a 680, between that 680 and 700 mark, they have to be putting 20% down. So if I have someone that comes in and they're, they can qualify conventionally, but they only have 3% down, they can't even get a gift to make up the rest of the 10%. This is not a good program for them. Same thing with VA. So VA minimum credit score is 680 and minimum 10% down. Now, VA buyers, Nina, we were just talking about one of your sellers had accepted a VA buyer. The benefit of that program is that it's 0 down. However, I would say probably 40% of my VA buyers actually do put money down. This program would be, I think, I don't know. I want to say that I think that this would be better suited if it was VA, that it was more of that jumbo market potentially, or anything over like a 450 to 500 purchase price, where a VA buyer would have, the 10% down, and this cash option would be good for them. When unfortunately, I've heard too many times from people, and I always try to correct it, but I hear that, I have a VA offer and I just don't want to accept that because they're not as strong of buyers, when they could actually be stronger than all the other buyers that they have. They just don't understand the how awesome the VA program is. So this could be one of those things where it's a VA buyer and now they have the opportunity to go in and look as their cash, and they can buy it as cash. But on the backside, after they close, I'm going to come in with that VA loan like they were going to naturally do anyway. And it's the same thing with conventional. The only two programs that we're offering this on right now are conventional and VA. The company had actually rolled this out, and I want to say they've been doing this for, was it the last fall, I think, is when they started doing this. Anyway, it was more of a beta, just to see how would this work, to make sure that it was a smart business decision. And this is why they rolled it out to our region. So now our region has access to this, and I don't know of any other lenders that are doing this. So this is huge. Now, the requirements in the middle there, you can see 3% of the sales price is earnest money. One of the requirements that we will have is that the person has to put 3% earnest money in. So when we're looking at a $600,000 purchase price, we're not usually, I haven't seen anyone doing this $1,000 or $2,000 earnest money. I've been seeing them do quite a bit more because they're, trying to have that strong offer and go in and show that, hey, I've got cash. And so that's something that helps make that look stronger. So anyway, we do require earnest money has to be at least 3%. The benefits for the person is obviously that they're a cash buyer. We know that cash buyers win over finance buyers. It gives that person the ability to close on the loan faster. So the thing that takes the most time in a transaction is the title work and the appraisal. Well, on these, we're doing a desktop appraisal, so we don't have to wait for an appraiser to go out to the property. And then on title, I mean, like I said, those are the two things that take the longest time, but title can be done in 5 to 7 business days. And I think, Enina, I think you've had some cash buyers too. That closing happens pretty quick.
Yes.
That's what we do. Yep.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So when you say you're doing a desktop appraisal, does the appraisal ever, a full appraisal ever happen, or is it just that's what it is?
So it depends on the scenario. It is a possibility that a full appraisal could happen. And that full appraisal, if it does have to happen, so many times, high percentage, when I have a client that is doing at least 10% down, there's a high percentage that I don't have to have a physical appraiser go out to that property. So if I don't, then we just can use that desktop. It's fine. If I do, then obviously we would have to have somebody go out there. So same thing applies to, like, let's say right now you have someone go in conventionally and they want to offer 40,000 over asking price. And then they have that appraisal gap in there. So these things could still apply in that scenario. Yep. Yep. So they could still apply because that's an awesome question, because you have to remember that we're closing cash up front, but I'm still going to come in. It could be a week later. It could be 3 weeks later, whatever that, because typically I'm going to close in 20 to 30 days on financing. So that, just having that window right there, they may, once if that appraisal comes in different, then they may need to pay that difference there as well. Right. So on the cash buyer side, they're doing that desktop appraisal, so we don't have to worry about that. But if we have to do an actual appraisal, which we would know during the process, like at contract, what happens behind the scenes. So let's say you have a purchase contract. As soon as you have that in place, we start processing the cash buy, and then we also start processing the regular conventional or VA loan. So it's happening simultaneously because we want to close on that conventional or VA financing as soon as everybody's ready, just like we would on our, if this cash thing wasn't in play. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And so then I have another question regarding VA appraisals. And, normally we find that, even with conventional, that these appraisers are looking for things like safety things, GFI outlets, smoke detectors, stuff like that.
No change.
No change.
No change.
If you don't have a physical appraiser going out there to look, then what happens?
So on the VAs are going to require an appraisal.
Okay.
I should have said that before. So conventional is where we can get a waiver. VAs, we're not going to get a waiver on those.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So you're still going to have an appraisal on the VAs. But yes, I mean, that's going to be something where you are going to have to, know that program, right? And we have a list of things that, are required. Sure. And so you're going to have to make sure that those things are taken care of.
Okay.
Now, the other thing when you're buying for cash, sometimes you can go in and you can offer less than asking, right? Like, have you had that happen where you don't always ask or offer asking price depending on the situation?
I haven't had any cash buyers that have, since the market has allowed us to offer less than asking. So that'll be a new scenario.
Yep. So that's that piece. Now, the way that this works is when it's not free, right? There is a convenience fee, and that is 1.5%. Okay, so that's important. So let's say we were purchasing a let's say we were doing a 600, that should be 9,000. Okay. So in order to borrow our cash, in order to borrow other people's money, you got to pay for that, right? So our convenience fee is 9,000 in that scenario. It's 1.5%
Okay.
of the purchase price.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So there's that. Now that is something that, let's say that we are purchasing for 600, and when we do the financing, you know, let's say that the appraisal comes in higher. If that were to happen, then we, you know, if let's say that it came in at 610, well, we can actually just roll that $9,000 convenience fee right in there on that new loan. They don't have to pay it out of pocket. Otherwise, they do have to pay it out of pocket. So that's important to know. It's a small fee, but it's there. The other thing that is important is when they close on the cash purchase, they need to move into the house, make it theirs. So move into that house. They're going to be doing a rent back. Okay. So depending on the loan amount, they will have to do a rent back for the days that they close on the house to the day that they close on their conventional or VA financing. So that's an incentive, right, to keep moving forward with that closing. Let's have that date in play. And it gets invoiced at closing. So when they close on the conventional loan, we invoice that rent back at that time.
How long of a time frame are we looking at there generally?
Well, the intent on this, we really would want them to close within, I would say, a 60-day window. The intent isn't to have our cash money sitting out there for too long. Same thing for them. They would want that as well, so that they're not paying that rent back. Plus they're, you know, assuming that they even have a current mortgage. This ability to use this cash takes away that contingency. So let's say you had a conventional buyer, they were purchasing a 650 home, but they were contingent on the sale of their house. This cash buyer program takes that contingency away. We just want you to have their house listed within 14 days after the cash closing.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty doable.
Okay.
I mean, it should be.
Here's a question for you then. So if they need to pay that convenience fee, plus they have to put down 10% in cash. So but they need that 10% from the sale of their current home. How does that work? Is that closing on that conventional loan happen at the sale of their current home?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's what we would do. So we would close on that conventional loan then at the closing of their current primary, or maybe they do it the day after or whatever. Yep.
Right.
And then at title, what we do is they have, what is it called? It's well, essentially we use the same title company. So the title company will close on the cash purchase, and then they'll close on the finance. And basically they leave a portion of the title open, so they don't record that until after once we close on that conventional or VA loan. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there would be maybe an extra closing fee of, I don't know exactly what the title company is going to charge. I haven't talked to Minnesota Title or Legacy or, some of these other title companies. I haven't talked to them about, if they would charge an additional fee or whatever. That would be something that we would have to figure out. But if it would kind of be like recording a second mortgage, but they never recorded the first one anyway. So I don't imagine that there would be an extra closing fee there.
Okay. So they're just holding on to it until everything is closed.
Yep.
Okay.
And in order to do this, in order to participate in this program, you do have to get certified. So when we found out about this program, we were just so excited, and we're like, go to the training. And people were like, wait a minute, this seems like a scam. And it's like, I get it. I get why you think that. This program is not for everyone. And I think that it really takes somebody that has had multiple transactions to understand where those processes take place and how this could benefit the right person. So, that kind of goes back to me saying, hey, just like a VA loan or down payment assistance, or even a conventional loan. Not everybody qualifies for the same kind of loan. And so this isn't for everyone. And I would say, this probably, I don't know, I was going to say maybe this isn't something that a $150,000 purchase price would look to do. I suppose they could, though. They could do that too. Why not? So the biggest, contender is it has to be conventional and VA. Like those are the only two that we're offering it for right now. I don't know that FHA would ever be a thing.
It doesn't make sense really with FHA in some regards, because you have to put down so much money, and usually FHA buyers are going FHA because they can't go conventional for one reason or another.
Yep.
And it's usually credit score or
history,
income.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So typically the clients that I've had that would put more down, in most cases, are those that have had something in their past that they are not, timing wise, they can't go conventional yet. And so they want to go FHA, but still, that's not even something, I don't know that we would ever do FHA with this, but that's not my decision. It's not my cash, it's somebody else's. So,
well, that makes sense. It makes sense when you think through it, because I was thinking, like you said, I wish I had this program 6 months ago. And the one of those buyers was an FHA buyer, and we wrote so many offers, and we tried all kinds of workarounds and every kind of program that we could think of. And, you get caught in these catch-22 scenarios that you just can't overcome, and here we are again. This wouldn't have worked for them either. So
yeah, because they have to be able to at least go conventional, right? So, and have that down payment. So it is, it's not a program that is for everyone, but it's a pretty awesome program to have in your toolbox. And know that it's available, especially if you, again, so 6 months ago, you're losing out on every 650 purchase offer that you're putting out there. You just, unless you went 150,000 over. Well, what would have happened if we came in with cash? Now financing is completely out the door as far as they're concerned, right? But again, so the process is it's same thing. I go through the full pre-approval. If there's an opportunity to talk about this program, or we get to a point where it's like, just where we're looking, can we, do this cash? Then that is whenever I would go ahead and have them qualified that way. Pre-approval letter still stands. You still have to have the, the financing to show proof of it, assets available to purchase. So we have that, and then, just kind of go from there. The training that you as an agent would have to do. Right now, we do have a class for sure this Thursday at 1:00. That class is, I think that the trainer does the best that he can to not be super technical, but at the same time, there are technicalities with this that you got to know about. And there's follow-up information too that you get. You don't have to know everything inside and out, but you have to be able to grasp the concept so that that it's okay. And then really from there, it's just, hey, Tonya, this person needs, pre-approval. And potentially that cash program might be a good fit for them, or, whatever. But then you're at least eligible for that. Something that you need to know is that there are no fees for the real estate person to use this program. So there's no cost to you. But there is one piece that is very important, and that is that, so when you close on a transaction, you get paid, right? Take the check back to your broker. Okay. So that changes on this. So when you close on the cash, the broker holds your money until we close on the financing. Once we close on the financing, your broker releases the money to you. Okay. So you have it, you just have to wait, because we want you to have skin in the game to make sure that if they're selling a house, that it gets, listed properly and all these things. And there's checks and balances that we put into place too, because we want to make sure, okay, what is it that you're selling? Where are the numbers at? All those things. If they don't have a house to sell, we just need to make sure that you're still engaged with the process. What if the furnace goes out? Well, who's fixing that? Is it the seller, blah, blah, whatever, right? Like what's going on? Well, that would be before the cash. close, because after that it's their house, right?
Right.
But again, well, like I said, once they do the cash and it's their house, we want them to move in. We want them to get all the utilities in their name.
Mhm.
Everything's theirs. And
Mhm.
then if there's an HOA part of the transaction, if there is a homeowners association, that can be
Mhm.
different. That might depend on the association themselves. They may make us put the association in our name as cash buyers and then transfer to homeowner once they close on that financing.
Okay.
All the HOAs are a little different, but we figure it out and make it happen. So
And so that brings up another question then, as far as types of properties, are there any limitations on the type of property?
not on the type of property, but it does have to be a primary residence. It cannot be a
Okay.
second home or an investment property.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. Yep. And I would think the one thing that could open sooner out of everything would be the opportunity to do this on a second home, maybe.
Okay.
Because depending on where they're going, that might be something. But I
Mhm.
mean, think about people that are traveling cross country, these
Oh
relocations
yeah,
and stuff.
that'd be awesome.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. To not have to sell your house
Right.
to make all this happen. So having the equity in the home, having the purchase agreement ready to go, or having your numbers, like these are all things, we have tools that we go through with you per transaction to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row. And it's almost like a underwrite review of that before we say, yep, the cash can go. So it's pretty neat. It's awesome. I think it's fantastic. So Mary can probably send you a couple or one or something, little graphics, at least you have it. Maybe
Okay.
like this one that I shared.
Yeah.
And then if you want to participate in a training, just reach out to us. Nina, again, for sure this Thursday at 1 is one of the trainings. And then I think what they're doing is, I want to say these trainings might be running right now since it's so new, every Tuesday and Thursday at 1.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Is it Mary?
Yep.
So maybe
I'll post in the group, I'll post the full calendar, but yeah, as of right now, it's every Tuesday, Thursday, 1 p.m.
Cool.
Okay.
That will be super helpful. Yeah. So then, I mean, just if you have questions, let us know. But again, it's an awesome tool to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I wanted to find out about it because, yeah, like I said, I could have used it in other situations, not my FHA people, but.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you might just have someone that's really strong and, you're just like, hey, based on where they're looking, let's go ahead and go full, let's do the cash and not even mess around. And we can do that. That's fine. But then I can talk to them about the costs, make sure that that's something that they want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that 1.5% convenience fee, it isn't really a small cost. So,
it's not a small cost, but compared to kind of some of this 20%, 25%, it's tiny. Yeah.
Yeah. And just the fact that they don't have to wait for months to get an offer accepted, like it was in the spring when it was just brutal.
And those contingencies, I mean, you go buy a house cash and not be contingent on anything. I mean, and that's, I don't know, does that go and change a 650 purchase to go in at 625 because I'm paying cash? I don't know.
Maybe not. Maybe in this market, yes.
Who knows? I know. See, that's the thing, is it's ever changing. So, and you just never know what that scenario is going to end up being. But anyway, so thank you for joining us. Again, reach out to Mary and I if you have any questions.
I'll send you some stuff, Nina.
Yeah, if you could send me the link to the training,
I will do that.
And the graphics, that would be great.
You bet.
Okay.
Okay, ladies, have a good afternoon.
Thank you. All right. Bye.